This is ABC7 News at 5:30. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. As the flu epidemic sweeps across the country, the Suncoast is seeing an increase in cases compared to last year.
ABC7's Marla Spence joins us from Sarasota Memorial Hospital with those numbers and what health officials say you can do to limit your risk of getting the flu.
The number of flu cases are up in Sarasota and the numbers are alarming.
We're seeing triple the admissions compared to last year.
According to a Sarasota hospital representative, there's been an uptick in flu cases since Christmas. Within a 6-week period, 276 people tested positive and 90 people were admitted to the hospital. This is higher than last year. 81 people tested positive for the flu and 31 patients admitted to the hospital. Health officials say the number one thing in preventing the flu is by simply getting the flu vaccine.
It's still the number one thing to do. The other thing is if you're sick, stay home. Don't go out and spread it around. Stay home, stay in bed, hydrate yourself, wash your hands, use hand sanitizer. If you are in a public place, use a mask.
Health officials with Sarasota Hospital says strain A or H2N3 is most commonly found on the Suncoast as well as across the country. If you suspect you have the flu, head to your doctor as soon as possible for a rapid flu test. Learning you have it will help you get the treatment you need and help you nip that bug in the bud as soon as possible. I'm Marla Spence reporting for ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Hi, Marla. Thank you. The man behind one of the biggest literary hoaxes in book writing history passed away in Sarasota a few weeks ago. Clifford Irving tricked the world when he said he wrote an autobiography with billionaire recluse Howard Hughes, only to later admit he never talked to Hughes. Irving was later sentenced to 17 months in federal prison and had to pay the publisher and his lawyer about $1 million. ABC7's Ray Collins sat down with Irving's widow, Julie, and asked her about that hoax. She said he was tired of answering constant questions about it wherever they went.
As he said, this was a situation where I did this in the 70s. It's here, I'm here and now. That happened in the past. I just want to let it go. So I think he had regrets about that it still haunted him.
Hear more of our interview with Julie Irving tonight on ABC7 News at 7.
As the District 72 State House seat covering northern Sarasota County heats up, the Sarasota Supervisor of Elections is prepping to make sure the process goes smoothly. And with every election, suspicion about the process and the hint of voter fraud are on the minds of many on the Suncoast, particularly a mail-in ballot. One local political expert says voting by mail may be less secure than voting in person, but the occurrence of mail-in voting fraud is extremely slim. There have been research organizations from federal to state down to county commissions that have looked into making sure the system is reliable. Sarasota Supervisor of Elections Ron Turner says every mail-in ballot signature is compared to the signature in the voter file to make sure they indeed do match.
We look at each one individually. If there is a question where the staff of the elections office cannot make a match, then that ballot is set aside and it goes to the county, to a canvassing board with an election.
Government offices did close at 5 p.m., but there is still time to register to vote in the February 13th House District special election. If you register online at registertovoteflorida.gov, you will have to go there, but you only have until midnight tonight to do so online.
One of the top discussions in the Florida House this week has been hurricanes. It's no surprise since 2017's hurricane season had a large impact on Florida. The House Select Committee on Response and Preparedness discussed backup power for nursing homes, blocking the rebuild of storm-damaged properties in high-risk areas, and traffic flow during evacuations. The group advanced 78 recommendations out of 161 proposed. The recommendations focused on Hurricane Irma recovery and the impact of people from Puerto Rico who fled to Florida after Hurricane Maria.
This storm really was unique in a lot of ways. So I think everything that we can do to be better prepared is something that all Floridians will benefit from.
The recommendations touch on evacuations, debris removal, housing, utilities, shelters, the state budget, and the agriculture industry, which suffered an estimated $2.5 billion in losses from Irma.
Meanwhile, counties from across Florida spent more than $1 billion in the aftermath of Hurricane Irma. That's according to a draft of a report by the House Select Committee on Hurricane Response and Preparedness. State agencies spent $680 million after the storm. The state expects the Federal Emergency Management Agency to cover most of those costs. Those numbers are separate from the $2.5 billion already spent by federal agencies in the state, and the total cost is expected to grow because the figures reported by the committee are more than a month old.
Let's get a check on our weather now. We got some big changes headed our way. Let's get the latest now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Yeah, big storms this past season. By the way, Irma over unofficially, get this, $100 billion in insured losses. So $100 billion storm. I can remember way back when in '92 when Andrew was the largest natural disaster in terms of insured losses, but it's well surpassed to that. Irma was an amazing storm. Now, get a look at this. I want to show you the wind chill temperatures across the U.S. right now. It's -8 in Kansas City. Look at this. Dallas, it feels like 18 degrees. Now, we're going to get this cold air, but not nearly as cold as we're seeing right now. Look at Sarasota, 71. Yeah, that's nice here right now, but things are going to change, as I mentioned, and we'll see that as the cold front slips on through tomorrow afternoon. Now, the snow is falling as far south as Houston tonight. No rain around, and the watches are in effect. And notice we're just at the southern end of that freeze watch, and freezing temperatures are anticipated here for at least a few hours. And again, looks like it'll be mainly Thursday morning, say around 3 a.m. up until around 9 a.m. is when those freezing temperatures will be occurring. We will see wind chill advisories. So although we won't feel the actual temperature won't be, I should say, freezing, let's say Bradenton, Sarasota, Palmetto, or even Anna Maria Island and Longboat Key, as well as Siesta Key. It will feel that way. The wind chill factor expected to be into the mid-20s to upper 20s on Thursday morning. Obviously, tough boating conditions, not so much tonight, but tomorrow morning, beginning then at really midday to all of tomorrow night, the tough boating conditions. More in our forecast. We will warm up pretty quickly by the weekend. Details on that coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Bob. Turning now to a disturbing discovery in California. Police say they found 13 siblings living in dungeon-like conditions, sitting in their own filth and starving, shackled to their beds with chains and padlocks. 7 of those children were actually adults as old as 29, but investigators say they were so badly malnourished that they looked like children. One of the kids, a 17-year-old girl, escaped with a cell phone from the house and called 911. Police then swarmed the house and arrested their parents, Luis and David Turpin. They are charged on multiple counts of torture and child endangerment.
To have been doing this for some time, and they were probably very disciplined and very meticulous about keeping the children captive.
Police say there were pictures of the family at Disneyland and Las Vegas, but neighbors recall only seeing the children recently, and many had no idea 13 children even lived inside that house.
The sentencing of Larry Nassar is underway in Michigan. The former USA Gymnastics doctor has been convicted of 7 cases of sexual assault, but more than 140 women accuse him of molesting them starting when they were just children and lasting for decades. Now the blame is going beyond Nassar and hitting USA Gymnastics. ABC's Maggie Rulli has more.
You used my body for 6 years for your own sexual gratification. That is unforgivable.
Women and their families describing how Dr. Larry Nassar sexually abused many of them as children over the course of decades.
You broke and shattered a lot of girls.
Heartbreaking testimony from parents who lost children.
She took her own life because she couldn't deal with the pain anymore.
And hundreds of children who lost their innocence far too early.
He betrayed my trust, took advantage of my youth, and sexually abused me hundreds of times.
Women who will no longer stay silent.
Perhaps you have figured it out by now, but little girls don't stay little forever. They grow into strong women that return to destroy your world.
Their voices joining Olympic stars like Aly Raisman, Michaela Maroney, and now the latest to come forward, 5-time Olympic medalist Simone Biles, tweeting, "I too am one of the many survivors that was sexually abused by Larry Nassar." Raisman taking the blame one step further.
And then we told USA Gymnastics, and to me it seemed like they
threatened me to be quiet. They allowed Larry to continue to work on little girls in Michigan and molest gymnasts for a very long time. And that's just, I don't know how they sleep at night.
USA Gymnastics says it never tried to hide Nassar's misconduct and hired an independent investigator to look into the allegations. And this is only day one of sentencing. We're expecting to hear from nearly 100 women and their families over the next few days. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, staying thin at the start of the new year.
Some ways to help keep those pounds off during the winter and how elevation may play a factor.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Winter White event, save up to 15% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured in a car accident, the state of Florida only gives you a specific amount of time to file a claim. So act now, give us a call.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
The classic film Singing in the Rain is coming to the Players Center in a live stage show opening January 17th. All the dances and all the songs you've come to know and love, all a part of our Wild Broadway series. Get your tickets now for this limited run by calling the Players at 365-2494 or visit us online at theplayers.org. You too can be singing in the rain.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Winter White event, save up to 15% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
For some people, it just seems like staying slim is effortless, and yes, genetics and a gym membership can help, but according to several studies, there are a few correlations to keeping thin that may come as a surprise. Kim Hutcherson has more in today's Health Minute.
We all know that eating a balanced diet and getting some form of exercise in your daily routine are keys to a healthy lifestyle, but those may not be the only factors to staying fit. A recent observational study in the journal Lancet Public Health found that people living about half a mile from a gym or any recreational area weighed less than those who didn't. Other research has found that more walkable neighborhoods are also associated with weight loss. Another staying fit factor is eating spicy foods. Research shows a major bioactive compound present in foods like chili peppers may play a role in weight control, including reducing appetite, increasing the use of fat as fuel, and increasing metabolism. An earlier study also found a connection between low obesity rates and living at a higher elevation. Researchers suggest that lower oxygen levels and higher metabolic demands at higher altitudes may reduce appetite. Another reason to live in the city, a different study found that people who lived in metropolitan areas with a population of 1 million or more had a significantly lower risk of obesity compared with those living in rural or smaller metro counties. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Boy, wasn't it nice today? Beautiful out there with clear blue skies for the most part, and we had some beautiful conditions as well on the Anna Maria webcam there. Now, we are looking at some snow falling. Some of it is fairly heavy down south all the way into Houston, stretching up through West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and New York, and that snow is going to make it all the way into the panhandle of Florida overnight. Now, as far as the snow goes, we're not going to see any of that there. In fact, what we'll see is a dry cold front come through, and that front will produce just a few clouds around, and then much colder air set to move in, but beautiful on the bay today. Should be a beautiful sunset this evening as well, and it looks as though things will get pretty nasty in terms of temperatures for the next 48 hours, really. Then we start to warm up as a result of high pressure moving through pretty quickly. And that's it. A quick hitter, a cold front moving through by tomorrow afternoon. The area of low pressure will drive to the northeast, and already freezing rain and snow near New Orleans and to the west thereof into central and southern portions of Louisiana tonight. And that is all associated with a plunge of Arctic air once again. And it looks like this Arctic air will continue to funnel in over the southeast over the upcoming 24 to 48 hours. No rain around. As I mentioned, it's going to be a dry cold front. The atmosphere is just too dry out ahead of it to cause any problems. Problems are the freeze watch, though, so people will have to take care of their sensitive plants again tomorrow night. And Thursday morning, take care of your small pets, too. Make sure they are indoors away from that bitter chill. We're going to see wind chills into the mid-20s for much of Thursday morning. 71 degrees right now. We have the sunshine out there. North winds are at 10. And the pressure way up 30-26, but that pressure will get knocked down a bit as the front approaches. 74 degrees today, above average. 71 is our normal, 82 the record set back in 1947, and the low this morning was 48. Well, here's the front. The big story that you don't see much cloudiness here as a result of the Arctic air that's in place, and that Arctic air mass will move with this front into the deep south. And so there are numerous advisories in effect. Here's the front as it's depicted by this particular forecast model. This is a projection Wednesday, 2 o'clock in the morning. Snow, freezing rain in the panhandle near Pensacola. That right through I-75 near Atlanta. And then by sunrise, changes over to mainly freezing rain, it looks like, in a small portion near Tallahassee. They could get a little bit of a dusting of snow there, but we're not going to see the same thing we saw with the last strong cold front about 2 weeks ago. For us, the front comes through with a few increase in cloudiness, clouds around. We will see, as I mentioned, no chance for rainfall here as things really shift around. Winds will stay out of the east-northeast tomorrow throughout most of the day. Then they really pick up. You see that up to 20 miles an hour throughout the afternoon and evening. Small craft advisory remains in effect for Wednesday. Beginning in the morning, north winds at 10 knots will start off as, but then 20 knots by midday. Seas building 3 to 5 feet and choppy conditions out there. Water temperature at 61. That's soon to go back down into the 50s by Thursday. Well, tides upcoming. Sarasota Bay high tide at 11:17. And a low tide will be at 7:46. Sunset will be at 5:59. And as far as the 7-day forecast goes, well, the cold air is going to be here. It's going to be here for a short period of time, and then we'll warm up. So breezy tomorrow, and then turning extremely cold for Florida standards into the mid-30s near the coast, upper 20s to low 30s inland. 65, though, nice rebound by Friday afternoon, and then back to the 70s we go on Saturday and Sunday. Should be a really nice weekend. Back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Bob. Time now to check your first alert traffic for the drive home. There is an accident in Sarasota at the intersection of Palmer Ranch Parkway northbound and Beneva Road. It does not look like it is causing too much congestion at the moment, but avoid that area if possible. Scott?
Thanks, Jacqueline. Banking giant Citigroup says it's close to closing the pay gap when it comes to gender or race. Citigroup releasing gender and racial pay data among its 75,000 employees in the U.S., Britain, and Germany. It found female employees are paid 99% of what their male coworkers make, and minorities earn 99% of what non-minorities earn. Citigroup says it will continue working to close the pay gap through, among other things, pay raises to employees. McDonald's is going green. The fast food chain is pledging to use renewable, recyclable, or certified materials in all of its packaging by the year 2025. The chain also says it will outfit every restaurant with recycling bins. Right now, only 10% of its stores have them. Executives say they're responding to customer demands to reduce packaging waste. McDonald's plans to get rid of all foam in its packaging by the end of this year, so won't have to wait for that.
Yeah, now if only everybody could use those recycling bins when they do try and recycle. Yeah. Well, stay with us. Entertainment news is coming up next.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Winter White event, save up to 15% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone. Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny'd been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Army National Guard soldiers serve to give back to their country and their community. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for benefits such as health and life insurance, education benefits, and retirement and VA home loan benefits. Visit nationalguard.com to learn more.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our Winter White event, save up to 15% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Actress Eliza Dushku is accusing a well-known Hollywood stunt coordinator of molesting her. Dushku says Joel Kramer assaulted her in a hotel room in Miami when she was only 12 years old. It reportedly happened while she was filming the 1994 movie True Lies. She said she later told some friends and family members about the incident, but after one of her male friends confronted Kramer, Dushku says one of her stunts went wrong and she was injured. The actress blames Kramer for that injury, but he denies all of her accusations.
Jane Fonda recently revealing in an interview that she had a cancerous growth removed from her lip. She thought the procedure would have already healed and wanted to explain why she was wearing a bandage on her face. It is not the first health scare for Fonda. She also had a small tumor removed back in 2010.
Actor Timothée Chalamet says he will donate his entire salary from his starring role in the new Woody Allen film to charity. The 22-year-old actor telling his Instagram followers that he does not want to profit from his work in A Rainy Day in New York. The announcement comes after Allen's adopted daughter, Dylan Farrow, raised concerns that her father escaped the Me Too movement. Farrow accused him 20 years ago of sexually assaulting her when she was a child. Allen's publicist maintains the filmmaker is innocent and says an investigation proved that Farrow was not abused.
Kim Kardashian and Kanye West are welcoming their third child, a daughter born Monday via surrogate. Kardashian made the announcement on her website today. The little girl is the couple's second daughter, joining older sister North, who is 4.5, she's 4.5 rather, and an older brother Saint, who is 2. A source told People in December that Kim was holding off on revealing the name as she had with her 2 other children.
It will be unique. I think we can.
Oh yes, of course.
We'll be right back with more news. Stay with us.